Greetings and welcome to the Unit 4 of Module 1 of TALG, Teaching and Learning in General Programs. In Unit 3, we tried to understand the three key words in teaching and learning, namely the learning, assessment and instruction. Learning is acquiring new knowledge, behaviors, skills, values, preferences or understandings, and there are several theories of learning, and there are likely to be more theories of learning as time progresses also. Learning is measured and facilitated through assessment. That is the in my opinion very key issue that teacher will have to continuously remind himself or herself. Instruction is planning and conducting, arranging a series of learning events to facilitate good learning. So, instruction is planning the learning events. That is what instruction is. While the instruction, teaching and sometimes even education, these are all used synonymously, but in the field of education all these words have very specific meaning. Then they need to be used in their with respect to their specific meanings for us to understand each other as well as do our jobs better. Now, Unit 4 aims at facilitating students, teachers to understand the origins of outcome based education, understand what an outcome is and what are its most important features, identify the level of an outcome. That is, you write an outcome statement, then we identify presently multiple levels of those outcomes. It can be at the program level, it can be at the a specific program level, or at the level of a course. So, we call them PO, PSO and CO. By looking at the outcome statement, I should be able to identify to what category that outcome statement belongs. And also one should be able to comment on its appropriateness, observability and measurability. These are the expected outcomes of this unit. Now, the OBE started back in 90s when many people started saying that okay, you are teaching something in the class, especially at the school level, but what did the students actually learn? We do not want to measure what you taught, but what we want to have information on is what the students have actually learned. And this is a movement that started in 1970s, and from then onwards people are looking for the learning outcomes rather than the teaching. And the term outcome based education was first presented by William Spady in 1994 through his book Outcome Based Education, Critical Issues and Answers, and it was mainly meant for it was created for American Association of School Administrators. So, the outcome based education, that word can be identified with William Spady. As per William Spady, outcome based education means clearly focusing and organizing everything in an educational system around what is essential for all students to be able to do successfully at the end of their learning experience. Please note we highlighted what the student should be able to do, not what the teacher has taught. So, that is the focus of that, and this means starting with clear picture of what is important for students to be able to do, and then organizing the curriculum, instruction and assessment to make sure the learning ultimately happens. So, the starting point either for designing a course or designing a program are really the outcomes. you start with the outcomes, and then from there you design your curriculum, instruction and assessment. And of course, Spady's focus was school education, and this has been being proposed and everybody comments on this. But even today, even if you look around the world, while everybody readily agrees it should be outcome based education, but the full features of outcome based education do not seem to have been fully understood by the teachers, nor the subsequent thing like curriculum design, instruction and assessment do not necessarily follow from the outcomes. So, we have a long way to go to effectively take advantage from the learner perspective of outcome based education. Now, there are several words used to look at outcomes of learning, because after learning something happens, that is the outcome. This outcome are referred in the literature as merely outcomes, learning outcomes, intended learning outcomes, instructional objectives, educational objectives, behavioral objectives, performance objectives, terminal objectives, general instructional objectives, specific learning outcomes, subordinate skills, subordinate objectives, competencies. So, you have a whole bunch of words that are used, and you can find maybe some more words as which are equivalent or the same as outcomes. So, what is an outcome? An outcome is what the learner will be able to do or perform as a result of some learning experience. So, whenever I start instruction or when I start teaching, first thing the teacher need to know what is it that I want my student to be able to do, and that will become our reference. So, how do I prepare him to become capable of doing something? That is what constitutes teaching or instruction. In the context of formal education, an outcome of an education is what the student should be able to do at the end of a program, a course or an instructional unit. For example, you have a 3-year program. So, at the end of a 3-year program, what you want your student to be able to do? Or I am teaching a course in BA Economics on, let us say, microfinance, and at the end of a course on microfinance, what should my student be able to do? That becomes the course. And within microfinance course, I have one instructional unit that constitutes, let us say, 4 hours of activity. At the end of 4 hours activity, what should the student be able to do? That is an instructional unit. What happens is, there are a whole lot of stakeholders with regard to education, whether it is policy makers, administrators, parents, potential employers, students, faculty. These are all the stakeholders associated with any education process, and the outcomes really provide the basis for an effective interaction among stakeholders, not the list of topics that constitutes the syllabus of a course. Okay. So, OBE or outcome based education is an approach to education in which decisions about the curriculum, instruction and assessment are driven by the exit learning outcomes that students should display at the end of a course or a program. I am repeating what has been stated earlier just to re-emphasize the outcomes really form the focus or starting point for all the activities related to designing and conducting a program. In outcome based education, the key principle is product defines the process. I want to produce something. Then what is the process through which I produce that product? So, the product is the outcome and the process is your teaching or whatever activities that you plan. the process is not unique, but we want the output the product to be produced in a having a certain specifications or certain properties. Generally in all higher education institutions, people take the stand, it is mostly input based education, where the teacher considers certain content is important for the student to learn. So, I keep teaching the content, and the kind of emphasis that I put on various things are decided by the teacher either a priori or online as you are teaching, and then I may complete or I may not complete something, and then what happens is whatever we get out of that, we are happy with the result. That means we are not, it is a process driven rather than product driven. That is the present, most of the input based education that is presently in practice in most of the places. Now, what are the advantages of OBE? We may repeat a few things, but here first is relevance. Now, when I write my outcomes, what purpose am I writing these outcomes? Is it because an individual that decides these are important, or there can be other stakeholders? Fitness for practice, for example, a graduate of this program should be able to do a few things. That means he has to practice this. So, the practice defines what outcomes should be defined. Similarly, I want my student to have certain capability. I define that capability and work backwards. So, the whole lot of the relevance of what the student is learning is measured with respect to the fitness for practice and the capabilities that he gains. And another very important thing, the process of identification of the outcomes within an institute promotes discussion of fundamental questions. This we have seen through various workshops that we have conducted. When we put 2 or 3 faculty to sit together to design, to identify the outcomes of a course or a program, they debate heavily, they argue with each other. In that process everybody learns, and what comes out as a product is lot better, is much more meaningful, much better articulated, and so the outcomes themselves become a basis for, is a platform for discourse among the stakeholders or among the teachers. And there is clarity, an explicit statement of what the educational process aims to achieve clarifies the curriculum to both students and teachers and provide a focus for teaching and learning. That means even for students and teachers to discuss something, the outcome statements become the focal point for discussion. So, there is a clarity. That means I am not, a teacher may assume certain things without explicitly stating, and a student may understand something on his own because there is no explicit statement in front of him. And when the understandings are different, obviously a good learning cannot take place. So, a clarity through an explicit statement will provide much better focus for teaching and learning. And provision of a framework, outcome based education provides a robust framework for integration of the curriculum. Curriculum here would mean the entire program. You have a 3-year program, and what is the connection between one course and the other, the relationships among them, and what exactly comes out. The entire the outcomes of whatever, because you start from the top and then you design your courses, you can see all the connectivity, all the whether something is not connected, is it intended or not. So, it provides a complete framework for critiquing a given curriculum. And accountability, by providing an explicit statement of what the curriculum is setting out to achieve, outcome based education emphasizes accountability. That means I can ask the students, have you been able to achieve these outcomes, or a teacher can ask himself or herself, or the department can ask, have you facilitated the students to achieve these outcomes. The outcomes can provide accountability. And then what happens when the outcome statement is clearly stated, some of the students can directly look at it and then can take responsibility for their own learning. But that is, they do not have to wait until what the teacher has completed in the class in terms of understanding what the output is. If they have a clear statement, the student himself can plan his own learning. So it promotes student centered approach to learning and teaching. And then flexibility. What should be remembered is, outcome based education does not specify educational strategies or teaching methods. Okay. There is just by stating an outcome, it does not mean that you are specifying this is how you should teach or this is how you must plan. No, nothing of that kind. So many times a faculty believe that it is a kind of a you are specifying what he should be doing in the class. All that you are saying is, even writing outcomes is the role of a teacher. So you are specifying, you are deciding, and you are assessing. The only thing we are asking is follow the sequence, that is all. And it also provides an excellent guide to the assessment itself. This we will see later in the later module, how assessment can be designed starting from statement of outcomes. And it also facilitates curriculum evaluation. If somebody wants to look at how good is your curriculum, then if the outcome based outcomes provide the required benchmarks against which the curriculum can be judged. If somebody has written very low end outcome statements, let us say, somebody can say, no, this may not be satisfactory at this particular level, and either the scope or the level of outcome will have to be increased or decreased, that one can it can facilitate the evaluation of a given curriculum. And as we were going through, I already mentioned there are many reservations about OBE. Anything that you say you try to do this, the first thing is teachers will object. You are now tying my hand. That is not the nature, that is not as per the spirit of education. That is the first, what I call generally knee jerk reaction. The moment you say you follow the process, immediate statement is it is against the spirit of education. Or further, if they want to be very strong, they call it a straitjacket. And they will also say education is more than preparing students for identified job. None of this is, for example, the last one if you take, it is not dichotomous. That is, good learning or somebody getting educated, whatever you call educated, and preparing for a job, they are not mutually exclusive. First of all, if it is mutually exclusive, you have selected bad outcomes for your program. And it is certainly not a straitjacket, because the content, the instructional approaches, assessment, everything is in the hands of the teacher. So it is certainly not against the spirit of education. So I feel that these reservations about OBE are misplaced, but still all faculty would not believe that, because they still consider any kind of intervention or interference is bad for education. Now coming to features of an outcome statement. The outcome statement should unambiguously state what the student should be able to do or perform. There should not be any ambiguity in terms of the language or in terms of the output. There should not be any ambiguity. You should not use any vague words. We will spend more time on that kind of thing. And another important one is when you write some outcome statement, it should be observable, that means, and accessible. When students do or perform, because outcome statement is related to what students should be able to do or perform, whatever that performance, whatever that is doing should be observable, and also it should be measurable. If it is not measurable, it is not an outcome. I cannot decide whether the outcome has been attained or not. We will spend more time on that. Students should be able to understand it, what it means. Comprehensible, it means you should not write in a language in a very complicated way where a student for whom it is intended, he is not able to fully understand the meaning of that. So it should be comprehensible, and it should be able to provide guidance to students in planning their own learning. We will look at some good outcome statements, and all these features will automatically you will feel they are relevant, and where they are violated we will also give examples where you can see what is wrong with that particular outcome statement. Now these are the three most important principles of not only OBE of any you do not even have to take the OBE framework. First thing is they are clear about what they should be able to do at the end of a course. This is the most important. When at the beginning of the course, at the beginning of the semester, the student one should communicate to the student very clearly what they should be able to do at the end of that course, end of the semester. This has been established very clearly through extensive field research, where the performance of the students has significantly improved just by merely communicating what they should be able to do at the end of a course, nothing else. The classroom instruction was not changed, examination has not been changed, no change in the contents of the course, except they were communicated what they should be able to do at the end of a course, and that itself has led to significant improvement in the performance of the students. And the second one, which I have already stated, principle or whatever you call, assessment is in alignment with what they are expected to do, which I have already elaborated. And the instructional activities are designed and conducted to facilitate them to acquire what they are expected to achieve. That means my instruction, whatever I do in the class, should all the time lead the students to acquire what they are expected to achieve. So these are the three principles. If these three are followed, the quality of the learning by the student will significantly improve. And now there are levels of outcomes. As we already stated, there are three program outcomes. Please remember that program represents an activity that is spread over several years. You can have a 2-year degree program, you can have a 3-year degree program, you can have a 4-year degree program. Program refers to a set of activities over a defined period like this. Earlier this word course was used to represent a program. Even today many colleges, when they say course, it is actually program. But now these words what we are using are officially identified by both UGC and NAAC. So we urge all faculty in all institutions to use these words. Program referring to a certain period undergraduate program, undergraduate degree, as we call it, it is undergraduate program of a 3-year duration. There are some 4-year duration undergraduate programs. So, and the program outcomes are in terms of levels of program outcomes, the program outcomes are generally are discipline non-specific. We will elaborate more in the next unit. That means every graduate should attain these outcomes. That is what means, irrespective whether he is a graduate from a BA in music program or a BA in philosophy or BA in mathematics, he must attain these outcomes irrespective of the program that he is going through. And there are program specific outcomes. If he is doing a BA in economics, what specific outcomes should he attain? That is program specific outcomes. Then every program has several courses. Once again, the course here earlier was being referred to as a subject or paper. They were loose words, but the word to be used is course. That means a program has several courses, and each course should have a set of defined outcomes. And these words are as defined by UGC and NAC. Now, let us quickly go through these 3 types of outcomes. Program outcomes are statements that describe what the knowledge, skills and attitudes students should be able to demonstrate at the time of graduation from a general higher education program. We are not saying which particular program. So, these POs, as we call them, they are to be identified by the institution or the university. For example, a university or an institution, an autonomous institution may be offering some 20 undergraduate programs. Graduates of all the 20 undergraduate programs should attain these program outcomes. They are discipline agnostic, or they are what otherwise we want to call it as professional and generic competencies. That is what we call them. Now, a sample PO, for example, is critical thinking. Everybody considers, generally on the drop of the hat, any teacher will say our student should learn to think critically. Now, that is irrespective of the program that he goes through. They take informed actions after identifying the assumptions that frame our thinking and actions, checking out the degree to which these assumptions are accurate and valid, and looking at our ideas and decisions, intellectual, organizational and personal, from different perspectives. Okay. So, that is a sample of program outcome. It has nothing to do with a particular discipline or a program. Now, you come to program specific outcomes. So, now if we say I am doing BSc in zoology, I need to identify outcomes that make sense with respect to the discipline of zoology. So, program specific outcomes are outcomes that are specific to a program and are statements that describe what the discipline specific knowledge, skills and attitudes students should be able to demonstrate at the time of graduation from a specific general higher education program. I should add that word, from a specific higher education program. PSOs characterize the specificity of the core of a program. We will again elaborate later. PSOs can only be 2 to 4 in number. That is a requirement from NAC. That is, you do not keep on writing a large number of PSOs. A sample PSO: analyze the relationships among animals, plants and microbes. Now, this particular thing might be attained through several courses that you offer. Okay, it is not just one course associated with this particular PSO. Now, coming to course outcomes are what the students are required to demonstrate the end of a particular course, and they should be measurable and observable. A course outcome should address. Now what happens is the POs and PSOs are at the level of the program. Now how do you attain them? They need to be attained through a series of courses. Of course, courses plus some other activities you may have like projects, presentations, field trips and so on, but majority of these outcomes have to be attained through courses. So what happens whenever I take a course, each course will address a subset of the POs and PSOs that I write. We will go through that exercise later, but remember that if I have about let us assume 8 POs and 4 PSOs, and this 8 plus 4 can be attained through have to be attained through all the core courses. But every course may not be able to address all the 8 POs and 4 PSOs. They are likely to address only a subset of them. That should be remembered. Now these are 2 sample COs. One is from a course called Animal Diversity Non-Car Data. Compute the energies and wave functions of hydrogen atoms using a Schrodinger equation. That comes from a course on quantum mechanics. That means the student should be able to compute the energies and wave functions of hydrogen atoms. That is the goal. And on top of that you are also prescribing you should be able to compute those energies using Schrodinger equation. That is the specificity of the CO. This is the relationship of these outcomes in the present context. If you look at this, the NAC framework requires there has to be vision of the institute, which leads to mission of the institute, and these two together, vision and mission of the institute, should also lead to the vision of the department in which the program is given, and vision of the department should lead to mission of the department. And the board of studies, keeping the vision and mission of the department, the board of studies identifies in the context of the mission of the department and the UGC and CBCS, UGC CBCS we will elaborate later, that is choice based credit system. They have to identify the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. These two together should lead to the curriculum. Curriculum as per UGC framework has three elements. One is discipline core courses, discipline electives, and then you have what are called foundation courses, and foundation courses have ability enhancement courses and skill enhancement courses. Now if you look at the discipline electives and skill enhancement courses, these are electives. That means these courses are not necessarily taken by all students. So all students take discipline core courses and the foundation courses here, the ability enhancement courses together. These are the only ones that you can take into consideration to achieve the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. But every course has to be defined in terms of course outcomes. This is the broad relationship between right from the vision of the institute to the course outcomes. Now here we suggest that you do these two exercises. Once again, this is only to make sure by practicing a little bit you understand what an outcome statement is or what a course outcome is. Write 2 examples of program outcomes of your own undergraduate program paying attention to all the features of an outcome. Write 2 examples of outcomes of an undergraduate course offered by you paying attention to all the features of an outcome. Okay. This is for just practice, just to make sure all the features we talked about you are able to take into consideration. And in the next unit 5 we try to understand the role of accreditation and the criteria according to which NAAC conducts its accreditation, and also understand the centrality of closing the quality loop at attainment of outcomes at the levels of COs, POs and PSOs. The closing the quality loop is the central principle of any accreditation process. We will elaborate that later. Thank you.